Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another Cold Talk sponsored by LENRforum.com. I'm here with our Cold Talk organizer, Ruby Carrot, who's in Eureka, California. I'm in London, England, and hello, everybody. It's great to see you.
Hi. Hi.
Today, we're going to meet physicist Francesco Celani, a longtime LENR researcher who's now working in the CleanMHE program funded by the European Commission. Francesco has worked at a high level in some of the most important fields in physics, at CERN designing equipment, and later on superconductors, and since 1989 on cold fusion research in Italy and in Japan. Welcome, Francesco Celani. It's good to see you.
Thanks. You are very kind.
Well, I got to grab this first question here because
Okay, sure.
We just spoke with Jacques Rouer not too long ago, and he
Rouer. Okay.
Jacques Rouer, yes.
Okay, from France. Okay.
Yeah, and
Oh, sorry, my English is very poor. It's very strong Italian intonation. So, okay, it's okay.
It's okay.
It sounds great.
Yeah, so Jacques Rouer gave us a short overview of the HME program. He's working in that space as well. Can you talk to us about what your role in the HME program is?
Okay, shortly, I am focused in the use of a Constantan, this alloy of copper nickel, instead of palladium, and our specialty from very long time is to use wire geometry because there is some specific advantage from the research point of view. Using wire is more easy to understand what happened inside such material, so more easy. The weak point that the wire can break. It happened very frequently using palladium before, and now the Constantan is more strong, so we can work for longer time. Usually before I used palladium at about 50 degree electrolysis, and several years later also with gas loading at high temperature. Anyway, the weak point was that when we get interesting results, after abruptly the wire break, so it stops. It's very, very frustrating effect situation. So we try to move to other material, more strong and mainly at lower cost. Now the cost of palladium is about twice of gold. Even the abundance in Earth is 4 times larger than gold. The reason is because it's used for catalytic conversion in the car. So largely used, so the price increased a lot. The Constantan has a cost about 20,000 times lower than palladium. So if we want to really use the cold fusion effect for the practical life, we have to look at something more cheap. And moreover, it's made by copper nickel, so almost no possibility that only few countries can control the situation, like in palladium.
So you're continuing the basic science research in Constantan wires within the HME program.
Yes. It was approved from the Commission. And we have done quite large progress in a short time because we capitalized all the previous experience with palladium, and we just in some way move the procedure from palladium to Constantan. And especially recently, we moved from DC polarization to pulsed polarization. We give pulsed power about over 55 the limits then we can give to the Constantan without breaking. Practically, just to have an idea, we give power density up to 10 kilowatt for gram of Constantan. I repeat, 10 kilowatt. The time duration is short, about 10 microseconds, but the peak power very intense. So you can have a phenomena that are impossible to get in the sea condition. So recently we improved largely the pulsar that we used since 1994 when we start pulsing with palladium. We modify largely, especially about the peak power, because now we are using wire diameter 200 micron. We are working at a temperature in the range of 500 to 600 Celsius, because we want to get practical energy from the system. So we have to go at temperature as large as possible. We add the indication using DC that up to 800 and 900 is possible to work for a long time. The problem of Constantan is the low reproducibility of the phenomena. We identify several preparation procedures that improve the reproducibility. Recently, we used a specific geometry first developed, shown during the conference in Assisi 2 years before. So it is like a coiled coil of Constantan, and but we move from DC condition to pulsed condition. Using the pulsed, we can use the side effect due to electromagnetics to the coil. We can go to very large voltage, very large current, inductive effect, magnetic effect. So everything have in some way another possibility. And we try to fool, we use this kind of possibility. And really we are getting nice results. During pulsing, we can use the Richardson effect. It means electron emission due to high temperature. Thermoelectric effect is a very old effect used in the vacuum diodes, just to have an idea. Moreover, we are using the Child-Langmuir effect. It means if we apply some proper high voltage in the vacuum diode geometry under low pressure, we can have movement of the electrons boiling off at the surface of the wire to another anode. So we have moving of electrons. This moving can be continuous or pulsed. So if pulsed, we can go to higher power, our peak power, so at advantage. Moreover, we are using the Pascal regime. The Pascal is a effect studied from Friedrich Pascal since 1890, more or less, and is related to gas discharge. The first experiments were made for insulator, DC condition. later was further developed further, and mainly for high voltage line. But obviously we are interested with gas of our interest. It means hydrogen, deuterium. So I make several papers about the use of Pasken for cold diffusion. The last was published at a meeting of the Organization of Italian nuclear engineer, fission and diffusion engineer, and they were very, very happy. So it was well accepted idea.
There's nothing
So
like a happy engineer, Francesco.
Yeah, they are, at least in Italy, I don't know, in other place, very open-minded people.
Exactly.
They work in hot fusion.
That's right.
Oh, this is another possibility. So please give me more detail and send me a lot of mail, too much mail. Okay. 200 people, terrible.
I'm very conscious of the time passing. You have collaborated. You've always been a collaborator, actually. You love to work in a team with other people. And so you worked on transportation in Japan. Yes. And a long time ago with the Martin Fleischmann Memorial Project, yeah, yes. With Australia and so on. What I take it that CleanMHE is your new collaboration, really, yeah. I guess it is your new team. Is the HME?
Yes, the European group. I told it's quite large. 17 laboratories, over 100 researchers. 50 in Europe, 1 United States, MIT, 1 in Canada. So not easy to match different behavior, different habits. So anyway, even the time difference makes some problem. Okay, yes, but maybe we are trying to overcome all these problems, and the COVID make everything more worse. Anyway. The progress are going. So we are almost all the group are making big progress. Maybe one is a psychological problem because European Union accepted the cold diffusion, so it's like revolutionary.
That was the most
before important. We were the lower side of science. Now we are more or less in the top. So make it better. But the money is very low, so it is a big problem. I hope they will give more money, but now really low. Anyway,
it depends. How much more money you get depends on the first results.
From European Union, I am shameful to say in 4 years about 300,000 euro, almost nothing, not enough. So we have to find other money in some other place. So not easy. Anyway, this is the life. Now we have approbation, not money, but not enough money. But
exactly. Okay. As always, everybody in LENR research is always bumping along the bottom. It's, hey buddy, give me a dime. You mentioned earlier that the pandemic has changed the way you work a little. I wonder if for the benefit of the people who watch the video, you could just explain how you're working.
For some aspect, just in our case, the very terrible period of March and April, where all was locked, we cannot go to laboratory, nothing, just home. It was useful because we can reanalyze the experiment made the year before, and we found proof that one of the main parameters to get anomalous heat is the flux of hydrogen inside material. It is a key aspect. To be true, the flux was the first evidence. It was experiment done from Carl Gustav Reich at NASA.
Mm-hmm.
But not enough expected, not enough studied. So we found that the flux is the most important. Flux where the loading of hydrogen, deuterium inside the material increase or decrease. So just moving is the main aspect. So from such point, we published the paper in Journal Condensed Matter Nuclear Science, held from Jean-Paul Biberian, France.
Yes.
And it was the starting to try to use again the pulsing in order to increase the non-equilibrium condition. Flux is not equilibrium. So we want to maximize the non-equilibrium without
So
breaking material.
let me jump in there because are you getting excess heat then when the deuterium is leaving?
Or hydrogen, it's moving.
Yeah, hydrogen, yeah, or deuterium when
Yes.
it's leaving the cathode as well.
One is moving inside the cathode because we measure the resistance ratio variation. As this variation is fast or large, as larger is the excess heat. So there is a correlation, strong correlation about anomalous effect and flux. Maybe we can expect the deuterium hydrogen came from the surface. So we need a procedure to keep the surface active, cleaning in some way by high voltage in some way. So they were the starting point to a new experiment because 2 years before we have evidence that applying a mild voltage to the surface, about 600, improved the long time operating of the reaction. Because another point here is to say, when you get a excess heat, after some time, always go to zero. So, but we want something real. We want a engine. We have something always active. So we realized there is can be due to poisoning of the surface, or more better to say, the geometry, local geometry of the surface, micrometric or nanometric, is damaged from the local heat or change the local composition. I don't know exactly, but anyway, something change and the heat goes to zero. So we want to make new, continuous new. We have proof that even a mild means 50 Hz excitation, symmetric plus minus 600, is proper to make experiment longer. So from such mild excitation, we move to pulsing, very high power pulsing, where I have quite long experience, and optimize, moved from palladium needed to Constantan needed. So we have to modify deeply the high power pulsar that was from me designed, and changed a lot to meet Constantan needed. So now it's really very powerful device.
It's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, over to you, Ruby.
Oh, okay. You told us that the HME program is really widespread and has a number of labs.
Yes.
How would you say the state of research in Italy and Europe as a whole, how is it doing now? I would imagine that this HME program has given everybody a real boost in the field there.
Boost for looking for the money and not enough money. Anyway, from the looking, the general meaning of cold fusion, before we were like the mad people in the science. Now we are very well respected. We are invited from several television, newspaper. So now we get respect. It is important. Before mad, now respect, and it can give a solution for the energy in the future. So really change a lot. I repeat, money not enough, but looking a lot.
Let me ask you, what do you think it was that the European Commission kind of changed their mind about this science?
For what I can understand, but I didn't have any real proof, just I can understand, during the CC conference where you, Ruby, attended, and also Alan, there were some observers from European Union, and they feel that the field is made of very serious scientists. So they want to give a chance to such scientists. Maybe you stay there, maybe you spoke with some people, second people that they were around, and they asked, maybe to me too, I don't know, because I don't know them, but the effect was positive.
Oh, that's great. Well, we are just about out of time. Francesco Celani, thank you for telling us about your research today in the HME program. Let me ask you, if people want to learn more, is there anywhere they can go to learn more about this?
Sorry, now the line is not stable. Can you repeat the line went down? Can you repeat everything?
I just want to say goodbye. And before we go, is there any website that you have that people can learn more about your research?
I don't have a website because European limits. We can share only few words of our internal meeting. Anyway, something I can say. There is the incoming conference in China next month. So our paper was accepted. I have invited the paper. So I suggest to watch there. If you like, I can send my abstract, if you like.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Good.
So everything I can do, I will do for the success of the society.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Francesco. Okay. Well, that's our talk for today. You can continue with the discussion and meet more experimenters like Francesco on LENR Forum. And until next time, I wish you good health, Francesco. Good luck with your presentation at ICCF, and I'll see you in the CC. I've no
sure. Maybe next September in CC, another meeting.
That's right.
So I am waiting for you, all of you, Ruby too. Okay.
We'll do what we can. Okay. Bye-bye. Bye, Francesco.
Bye, Francesco.
Bye. Ciao, ciao.
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 Bye, Ruby.
Bye.